Good for some of you, early evening, late afternoon, but either way, happy Thursday. And we are back with another full out chat. I'm your host, Steve Solberg, and I cannot wait for today's guest. Kollin Cockrell is joining me today. He is, without a doubt, one of the premier partner stunners in the game today. One of the few that has won so much internationally and nationally here. So cannot wait to talk to him. But like every coach says, before we go full out, let's just do this one more time. Time to go full out.
Are you ready? Full out chat. You know what time it is. We got control, we got the right, we got the vision, you lose the sight. We will never stop. What? We got the drums here. What time is it? Oh, we're live in 5, 6, 7, 8.
And the music means we are about to go full out with Kollin. I see him. Let's bring him.
Hey,
Kollin, hey, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you again for taking the time to talk with me today.
Oh, absolutely, Steve. Thank you so much for having me.
So we met briefly. The only time I've really got to meet you was at College Nationals at UCA this past year.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember you were getting your partner stunt routine ready on a Friday, and I just remember being like, gosh, this guy is so good. What impresses me about you is not only are you just obviously phenomenally strong, which we're going to talk about your powerlifting and your Olympic lifting background here, which was obviously, but man, your technique is great, my friend. Really good technique. You're very welcome. No, I mean, people are already chiming in. Absolute legend. I agree. I mean, you are, I believe, the only person to win UCA and Ncaa partner stunts in the same year, if I'm not mistaken. I believe you are.
I think it's happened in previous years, but the last time I've heard about it was probably about 7 or 8 years ago. So
okay,
it's been almost a decade since it's happened. So
okay, I know it's very rare. A really good friend of mine. I don't know. Have you ever heard of Tim Wagner?
Yeah, I have.
Tim Wagner. He chaired at SFA. Good friend of mine. I know he won Ncaa, and then the following technically year he won UCA. So he won them back to back, but it wasn't in the same year. But either way, man, I was super excited to hear your story. Your story is very interesting, coming from your background, and you were actually destined to make the Olympics as a power lifter, as a lifter. And then obviously that was not the plan, and then you got into this crazy thing called cheerleading, and we'll get into that. But I mean, just kind of let's start from the beginning, my friend. Like, where are you from? Where did you grow up? Any influences? Other sports you did growing up? And then let's talk about how you got into the powerlifting.
Mm-hmm. All right. So if we talk and I tell you my story, it's going to take us 3 hours. So I'm going to try to break it down as minimal as possible. So, just kind of get the idea. But yeah, so I'm originally from a place called Salmon, Idaho, and the population is about 5,000 people. So it's a very, very small town. And I graduated with 60 people in my class. So a very small town.
Okay.
Not many people know about Salmon, Idaho, but yeah, I'm originally born and raised in Idaho. I'm a country boy. Not many people know about me, but I was born and raised in the country. So basically, when I was younger, I really loved competing. I really loved working out. Oh, I lost you, Steve. Where are you at?
I'm right here.
I didn't know if the phone went.
Nope, that was my bad. Accidentally flipped the phone.
Oh, no worries, no worries. So I graduated from Salmon High School, and since I was young, I just really loved competing. I loved working out. I just loved the competitive aspect of life, just getting that adrenaline rush when you're about to do something. That's what I always thrived for. So when I was in high school, I played football, I did track, and I did Olympic lifting. So those were my 3 main sports. And so in my PE class, there's weightlifting records, and they had like the squat, bench, deadlift, clean and jerk, power clean, and they had those lifts. They had records of weight classes and those people that lifted the weights. So my goal was to break just one record. My freshman year, I looked up at the records on the board, and I just thought, I just want to break one record.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I want to do before I graduate high school. But sure enough, like my sophomore year, I broke one record, and that was a power clean of 285 pounds. And I thought, like, yeah, it felt good. I accomplished my goal my sophomore year. But then sure enough, I was like, I bet I could do more. I bet there's more in me. I bet I can break more records. And then sure enough, I just got this mindset, you know what? Before I leave this high school, I'm going to break as many records as I can. So by the time I graduated in 2011, I broke over 30 records in that high school. So
oh my
yeah, it's
goodness.
quite a bit. Yeah, like, yeah.
So that's really the sport that, man, for you, just something was clicking with Olympic lifting. It just, something was clicking. I mean, you said you played football, but I mean, by the time you were finishing up high school, was lifting kind of like the sport that kind of took over your life at the time?
Yeah, so I had a bunch of aspirations after I was done with high school. I thought about, so there's like 4 things I wanted to do. Was either serve a mission. Either serve a mission. I wanted to train for the Olympics, go throw, because I also did track too. I did track and shot put and discus.
Mm-hmm.
In my senior year, I won shot put. My senior year, I threw 50 feet in the shot put. So that shot put and discus was like a favorite of mine, but it wasn't really my sport, the one I didn't excel at. And my last goal was to play football for Boise State.
Okay.
So yeah, serve a mission, train for the Olympics, throw in college, or play football at Boise State. So I had a bunch of opportunities I can do after high school, but the one that really stuck with me the most was Olympic lifting.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, since I broke over 30 records in that high school, I thought, all right, well, there's got to be a lifting program where I can take this to the next level. And even in high school, there was they had Olympic weightlifting in the Olympics. So by the time my junior year, I was thinking like, all right, what do I got to do to make the Olympics? I will dedicate all this time, because I spent so much time breaking all these records. You know, Steve, it was crazy. So in my high school, I'd wake up, I trained before class, sometimes during lunch, and then after school. I was in that weight room constantly, just very disciplined with my training. So to continue from that, I ended up going to Louisiana State University Shreveport. So I crossed from Idaho all the way down to Louisiana State.
Oh,
University
wow. Okay.
Shreveport. Mm-hmm. So went all the way down to the south, completely country boy up north, and didn't know much about the south. So went down south, and I went to Louisiana State University. I'll just call it LSUS for short.
Mm-hmm.
So went to LSUS for 3 years, and it was a phenomenal time. I went to my first international competitions, done a bunch of national competitions. My strength got so much better. My technique got so much better. But after 3 years, you know, like to every high, there's going to be a low in life. You know, you're going to come down to lows. But so when I went there, I was hitting this high. I won like 2 national competitions. I went there and won my first international competition in Reykjavik, Iceland. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is too good to be true. Like, I'm at my dream school, I'm training really hard, and I'm designated to make the Olympics. And not only that, I was trying to be the best person I can be. I was like treating my body right and trying not to, I was just doing things in moderation, you know, not partying, not drinking, making sure I was disciplined with my diet and everything. So
let me actually real quick, let me ask you, what drew you to that school? I mean, it's obviously a school that, you know, not many people probably have heard of, but, and obviously, like you said, I mean, you moved from Idaho down to Louisiana, such a different culture, such a different area of the country. Kind of what drew you there?
Oh man, Steve, I can't even explain. It was like a gut instinct, because, you know, I had like other opportunities to go to these really cool schools. And the thing is, I had pretty good grades in high school, so I wasn't really the smartest, but, you know, to be honest, my academics is not my forte. But the thing is, I'm willing to do, like, take however long as I need to finish the assignment or the project. So that was one thing about me. I was just pretty persistent. But the thing is, about Louisiana State University, Shreveport, I read about it, and they had the 3-time Olympian that went there, and they had multiple world-class athletes that competed in the Pan American Championships.
For weightlifting? Okay.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it was really cool. I thought, like, all right, this is the school I got to be at. You know, I had a really good feeling about it, and I thought, like, this is where I got to be at. Mm-hmm. So sure enough, yeah, that's why I took the decision to go all the way down there, all the way
Did you
down
even
south.
visit campus, or did you just go?
I looked on the photos, like on Google. I talked to the head coach over there,
Uh-huh.
and he explained it to me. But it would have been a pretty expensive plane ticket if I
Yeah.
went all the way down there and then come back. But no, never got to
Wow.
explore it. I just went down there and trusted everything my coach said.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
it's crazy.
okay, so that is crazy. I mean, there's no way I would have gone to a school without seeing it first. I mean, that just blows my mind. Wow. But I mean, when you're young and you just got these bright eyes, and you're just ready to do something. I mean, I guess 18-year-old me maybe would have done that, but that is crazy. But okay, so you're saying you were there for 3 years, and after 3 years, kind
Yeah.
of ready for something new.
Yeah, so after 3 years, I had a great run at Louisiana LSUS. Had a great run there, but sure enough, some dilemmas happened with the coach that was there, and things weren't working out. We weren't seeing eye to eye, and not only that, he was focusing on the Olympian that was trying to make the 2016 Olympics, and I have a lot of respect for this guy. He was definitely one of the best coaches in the nation during that time, and he put a 3-time Olympian in that program. So
Yeah.
had a lot of respect for the guy, but the help that I needed, I wasn't really getting facilitated. I was doing competitions. I remember a couple competitions that I did, and I had to cut weight. I didn't know how to cut weight properly, so I starved myself. I had a bunch of dilemmas that I just needed help, but he couldn't juggle two at once. So sure enough, I just thought about it. After a while, I thought about if he's busy, like handling this athlete, which is understandable, like respectively, I was like, if you want to go, put your attention on him, I totally understand, but I got the same goals and aspirations too, and I need the support. So I took the decision and flew back to Idaho, and I went to a team in Boise State. So this is my second university I went to. So Louisiana State University, Shreveport, went back to Idaho. Now I'm back in Idaho, Boise State University. And yeah, Boise State was a great year too. I only trained there for about a year, so it was a very short run at Boise State University. I did national competitions and I did local competitions just to fill it out again, just kind of get back in the game. And around this time, it was 2014, so I was 2 years out from the 2016 Olympics. So still had some good time to train, get my body right, and just get acclimated to these new coaches. But Steve, in the same time, I was like, man, like I spent 3 years and then I have to restart and then trust these coaches,
Yep.
So it wasn't a bad transition, but it wasn't easy. So I trained under these coaches at Boise State University, and it was great. Did a competition in Washington D.C. Did like the Idaho State Championships, and we had plans. So they were preparing me for the World Championships in Houston, Texas at that time, and this is why I've been in school for such a long time. Like it's been at this time, I should have been graduating or wrapping up school, but I was transferring. I was putting athletics before anything, and I was making sure that, I was going to do whatever I could to make the 2016 Olympics, because that was my goal. And then I just remember one day, so this is when stuff hit the fan, and I just this was my lowest of the low of my life, and it was a very tough transition, tough mental battle to get my head back in the game. So I remember training with them. It was great. I was training 9 times a week, and I was a full-time athlete, part-time student. But I remember this. I still remember the day. It was during the summer, getting ready for the competition, like getting ready for the World Championships. Then I was training normal, warmed up and everything, and then sure enough, I was doing clean and jerks with 385 pounds, and to me that was light, that because I trained for it my whole life. So I was doing clean and jerks, and then just one small movement, I felt a sharp pain in my back, and I was like, "Ooh, what the heck was that?" And my mentality is, if I have a broken arm, I'm still gonna go. Like I have that my mentality. Like I always think mind over pain, which is not good. You gotta. If I could go back in time and tell Kollin to stop, I would have stopped. But I still finished out the training session, and I just remember when I hurt my back, I took a belt and pinched it around my stomach as hard as I could, so I didn't feel any pain. So basically, there's a belt holding my core. Then finished off the training session. Then sure enough, I took off the belt, and I collapsed to the floor. My back gave out, and I couldn't get up for about a half an hour.
So literally the belt was holding you up, literally.
Yep,
Wow.
it was keeping me stable from, and it felt so weird. It was like my lower body was working, but the upper body was just like kind of noodling. The only thing that was holding it was that belt, and then took off the belt and then sunk. It was the weirdest feeling. It's like Charlie horse, but like it like knocked you down to the ground, and I couldn't get up. And my coaches said like, "Kollin, get up. Like, are you okay? Get up. Like, try to walk it off." I'm like, I can't get up. I really can't get up. And every time I try to move, I just felt like someone took a knife and was stabbing me right in the back. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? Like, I've never experienced this type of pain. The thing is, I've had pain and injuries throughout like my weightlifting career, but never one where it put me down to the ground. I've always been able to walk it out or rest it and the next day good to go. But this one, it was definitely very devastating. So after that back injury, iced my back immediately, and I had enough. It felt so numb that I was able to walk and go back home. And then I thought like, I'll just rest it off. I'll just go to sleep and wake up the next day, feel good. But no, next day, try to get out of bed, couldn't get up, and like something's seriously wrong with my back. Like I messed it up. I'm injured. I'm very injured right now. So I had to tell my coaches that, and I had to take a couple months off. And the bad thing was, Steve, this was in the beginning of 2015, so a year out from the Olympics. And I was like, this is not good. This is very bad. This is very bad. I got a back injury a year off from the Olympics. This is the worst time I can get a back injury. So, yeah, so I went to the doctors. I went to some back specialists. They injected me with like cortisone shots, dexatone shots, a bunch of shots that probably not really healthy for the body, but I was trying to get back in the game as fast as possible and be lifting the way I was. But I would get the cortisone shot, and it do me good for like a day or 2 days. Then sure enough, boom, back to the ground or just extreme pain again. So I really didn't know what to do at that time, and I had to do a lot of critical thinking, and I had to do a lot of talking to my coaches. And I talked to my coach and said like I'm hurt, like I'm really hurt right now.
Yeah.
I'm injured. I cannot train right now. Then I remember specifically what this coach said, and it's going to stick to me for the rest of my life. And I use it as motivation to be the best person I can be today. And he said, this was kind of like it's a negative thing he said to me, but I took it as a positive, and I was like, I'll show you. He said, "Oh, Kollin, you're injured. There's nothing you can do right now. You're the horse that got injured. I'm going to take it, like, not in a bad way. He's like, all I can do is take a gun and shoot you now." And he used that analogy, and like, that is the worst analogy you could say to me right now, especially after this back injury, and I'm not feeling good mentally. So not only that, he said that to me. I got kicked off the weightlifting team because the thing is for Olympic weightlifting, if you get injured, they're going to pull somebody back, pull somebody else that's not injured. It's like football.
Yeah.
You get hurt, they're going to replace you.
I mean, especially 1 year out from the Olympics, I mean, they're going to try to get people ready that could be ready. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So, oh my gosh, Steve, it was, at that time I was like, I'm lost now. Like, I'm lost. So I got kicked off the weightlifting team, basically going to Boise State University, just going to school at that time, just going to like the 3 classes I had because I was a part-time student. And I was like, okay, well, I'll show them I don't need them. I can make the Olympics by myself. This time, coachless, no guidance, and all I had was my family to rely on. And that's one thing. The biggest influences are my family. I'll tell you the reason why after this story. But all I thought was like, what do I do at this time? I was still going to the gym and training, and it was extremely painful. I remember trying to do like even a bench press. My back was hurt, but bench press was hurting just from breathing. And the movements I was doing, like trying to do exercises, was hurting my back. And I was like, what do I do at this time? So all I did was went to school, and I was trying to do the best that I can to rehab. And I got so down in the dumps that I had to go see a sports psychologist. And he told me like, this will get over. Injuries heal, but you have to find the good. Just keep striving forward and keep working around your injury, because it happens to athletes all the time. So that's what I was doing. So I took his advice, and it was working. But then typical reason why guys go to college, or guys do college cheerleading, met a girl, and she was one of my
That's about 95%.
Yep. Yep. And everyone knows how it goes. The girl said she was a Boise
Hey,
State.
you're a strong guy. You look athletic.
Yep, exactly. So that's how it went. She told me like about cheerleading and partner stunting, and she's like, yeah, there's open gyms. Like, I'm like, what the heck is an open gym?
This is
What
still
is
at Boise? This is still at Boise?
Yeah, still at
Okay.
Boise State.
Okay.
Going through all this stuff, got kicked off the team, still at Boise State. So at that time, I was, I just saw like a, young, beautiful, attractive cheerleader at Boise State. And this was 2015, the middle, or like, I would say about the middle of 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me about to come to open gym, and she told me about partner stunting. And the thing is, I was familiar with partner stunting in high school because in sports and football, there's cheerleaders. I saw them like do stunts. And the thing is, I didn't really think anything of it. So I was just like, all right, well, I looked it up on YouTube. I saw like the dudes SFA videos, was it Pro X videos? I was in constant
Pro X,
I was
yep.
like, wow, these guys are, I was like, these guys are really strong. Like, how are they doing that? Then I went to the open gym, and I think that night I learned like the toss hands. I did like libs, but it was very, very ugly. I would just muscle the girls like a power clean, and it was very ugly technique. But like the thing is, it was hurting my back, but like it was tolerable. It wasn't like lifting the weight. So I was like, okay, these girls are like 90 pounds. So, and I'm just basically power cleaning 90 pounds. So I was like, I can't feel anything really. So and then I started to get addicted to it. So the gym I was going to was Riot Cheer Extreme. That was in Meridian, Idaho. So 15 minutes away from Boise State. So I kept on going to more open gyms because I love the exercise, and I love like, hey, try this new stunt, that new stunt. Then I just remember the whole summer I was in there like just stunting, just eager to learn. I was like, and it was helping me get my mind off of things because, like it was devastating going from, being a potential Olympian to losing it just like that.
Exactly.
And then just like it was helping me keep my mind off of things. It was good exercise, and I wasn't, it was like therapy almost. It was therapy for me during that time. But yeah, then, obviously there's days like I still felt down in the dumps because, I spent over 10 years of my life just to make the Olympics, and I was doing everything I could possible, trying to be a good person, eating good, going to bed early. I was doing all the principles I could, and I just thought, why me? Like, what did I do to deserve this? Why did I get hurt? Like, and there's other people I met that were like, they were good athletes, but their character, they didn't really have a good character. And they were still good to go for the Olympics. And I just thought, why me? What did I do? Like, I don't know if religion is like in your culture or not culture, but just in your thinkings. But I just thought like, God, why did you punish me? What did I do? What did I do wrong? Then I still have those days, but partner stunting was still kind of help keeping me therapeutic and making sure I keep my mind off of things. But I had to get out of Idaho, so that was still going on in Boise State. So my sister, her name's Kollin Cockrell. She lived in Spanish Fork, Utah, and she said, Kollin, I know you've been having a bad time in Idaho. You should come visit me. Come see your nephew. Come see your brother-in-law. We'll go on some hikes. Utah is like known for the mountains and just it's beautiful, and it's like there's like quite a bit of things to do. Not many people like look into Utah, but there's a lot of beautiful places to visit. There's like national parks. So it's like, sure, why not? So by that time I was finished up school, and it was it was summertime at that time. Then went and saw my sister in Utah, and I spent like a week there just spending time with the family. My sister was there to support me because she knew how like down in the dumps I was during that time, and she was just there to support me. I was eating some really good food because I lost a bunch of muscle after like injuring my back, and just like knew like, all right, well, my back is injured. I got to take some time off. And oh yeah, and I didn't tell you, Steve, like the back injury I did, I strained a lumbar and I tore some ligaments in my lower back, and I really messed up my SI joint. So any type of hinging movement, very extremely painful. So so I was out for a year. The doctors told me like, you can train, Kollin, but you're not going to the Olympics. Cannot, if you want your back for the rest of your life, you cannot lift heavy. They said like under 50 pounds, they said that. I'm like, no, I'm not going to follow that guidelines, but yeah, I'm not going to go lift heavy. So yeah. So,
to basically tell like you said, to tell somebody that really, I mean, you're an elite athlete. You are training to compete against the best people in the world, and then to be told like, you really shouldn't be lifting heavy weights again. I mean,
Yeah.
that's like you said, is just you know just such a shock to any
Hmm.
young athlete, especially in your prime. Well, we think you're in your prime, but obviously, as we get into it later in your story here, your prime is yet to come.
Yeah.
But for those of you joining us, we're here with Kollin Cockrell. He's getting into how he's about to move to Utah with his sister, or at least visit her. I'm guessing it's maybe just a visit first, but
Yeah.
obviously you end up staying at Utah. So your sister opens up her house to you for a bit just to get you out of Idaho. I mean, let's just be. I mean, it seems like you're kind of lost. You just really don't know what the next step is or what the next thing in your life is. So you get to Utah, and I've never been to Utah, but I've heard it is absolutely stunning and beautiful. Like you said, it's very spiritual. It's very therapeutic area. So we got. Oh, and also we got about a half hour left. So we have. By the way, this is awesome. Like I see people from like Germany and like Russia. I think like there's all these people popping in, like giving you love. If you have any questions for Kollin, he's happy to answer them later. At the bottom of the screen, there's a question mark. Tap on that question mark. Send us any questions. If we have enough, Kollin will be happy to answer any questions later in the show. So you take your sister up on the offer. You go to Utah.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, Utah. That's when Utah like starts kicking in and just like where the transition happens. So this is I had the fall, and now this is kind of the rising point. And so you being in Utah, great, very beautiful. Went to a national park. I went to Moab. That I don't know if you heard of that before, but Moab is a very, very. It's like a canyon national park. It's very beautiful. You can take photos. But then after that, just kind of getting my mind off of things for a while, I just thought like, man, I kind of want to exercise. I kind of want to do some partner stunting. So I looked up on Google if there was going to be open gyms around me, and there was an open gym about 45 minutes away called Utah Extreme Cheer. And I just remember this is the night where my life changed, where I was an Olympic weightlifter and then the transition into a cheerleader. So I went to that open gym that night, and I don't really know why they put these people at this place at this time, and the reason why I came, I really don't know, just kind of destiny. So I went there to that open gym, and I just took a random girl, and I started stunting, and just didn't think anything of it. I thought, yeah, just stunt. I didn't care who. And the girl was like, I asked, I never met her before. I went there by myself and just started stunting. Then, sure enough, I looked off to the side, and I saw these. Oh my gosh! I just remember my mind being blown. I was like, "Who are these people?" And they were stunting, doing rewinds, doing hand-to-hands, like front handspring ups, and like smaller than me. And by that time, I was still big and bulky because I was still in my Olympic weightlifting body. But I was looking over, and these guys like pretty muscular, but not like super ripped or built. And they were doing rewinds, and I was like, "Who are those people? I've never seen." Like I seen it on the videos, but I just saw it in real life, and I was like, "Wow, I'm very blown away right now." Then I was like, okay, well, I can't do what they're doing, but I'm gonna try. The competitive fire got in me.
Yeah.
And I started doing like the thing is, I didn't have any technique, so I was starting to do visors. I did like toss visor, tick visor. I was doing things that didn't require flipping, but took a lot of strength to do. And then me doing that, it took their attention, and they saw me, and they're like, "Who's this guy?"
Yeah.
Then a guy named Dane Lobdell. This is the guy that changed my life. He went over to me, and he's like, "Who are you?" Like, just not even like, "Hello, how are you?" He just went over. He's like, "Who are you? Are you a cheerleader somewhere?" He's like, "I've never seen you in my life." And this is the guy that knows everybody. You know, like you go to the store with that one friend, and he's like, "Hi, hi, hi," says hi to everybody. This was the guy. Then he's like, "I've never seen you in my life. Who are you?" And I told him I'm Kollin Cockrell. I'm a weightlifter at Boise State. I'm just visiting here, and I'm just here for open gym. He's like, "Oh, that's cool. That's cool." And it just out of nowhere, he said, "Do you want to be a cheerleader?" And I was like, "A cheerleader?" Like, he's like, "Yeah, cheer in college. Do you want to be a cheerleader?" And I'm like, "No, no,
absolutely not. Oh no, not at all."
Yeah, and the thing is, I was like, the girls are like, very beautiful in the stunt, the tumbling and the stunting is very cool. But I'm like, I can't do that. I'm not going to be able to do that. And then he just told me, he's like, I told him, like, that I appreciate the offer, like, but I can't. He's like, but I don't know why he was so persistent. And I told him, like, dude, like, I don't know you and you don't know me. Why are you so persistent to get me to do this? And this is like legit, like 5 minutes in or 10 minutes in the conversation. And he was just like, I don't know what it was, but he just would not give up and just say, yeah, hey, here's my coach's number. And I'm like, dude, I'm like in Spanish Fork and we're in Sandy, Utah right now. It's 45 minutes. He's like, dude, I'll come get you. Like, he was persistent to get me. And I didn't know what he saw in me, but maybe it's just like, I don't know, just instantly, when you see somebody, you just click right away. Yeah, he just kept on bugging me. But then after that, he told me about Stunt Fest. He told me about partner stunt competitions, scholarships. And I was like, because at that time, yeah, it just kind of got me thinking. Because like Boise State was, it was just, I was going to school at that time. And then, but I was like, am I going to really throw away 10 years of my life training for the Olympics to be a cheerleader? I'm a brand new cheerleader, late in the game, it was mid 2015, still during the summer. Then after he talked to me, I had this like weird butterfly sensation in my stomach, like when I left him, and I was like, what is this? What am I feeling? Why is this happening right now? And then I went back home and I thought about it, prayed about it. And I was like, what do I do? Like, what do I do? And I just didn't know who to address, and then end up calling Dane Lobdell again. And I went to another open gym and I saw the coach, Summer Willis. And Summer Willis is one of the best people I've ever met in my life. Such a beautiful hearted lady. And she instantly like saw me and I had a very good connection about her. And she told me this, kept on talking to me. She's like, yeah, I heard this story. You're a former Olympian or former Olympic weightlifter training for the Olympics. Like, yeah, like we would love for you to join the team. And she's like, we lost 3 dudes, but we would love for you to join the team. And I was like, why do you guys want me? I'm not a cheerleader. I'm a weightlifter, So I mean,
minimal experience. You're just a big, strong dude, but that's it, but yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we compete nationally. We're one of the top, like, in the country. I'm like, and you want me? Why do you want me? I know I'm a weightlifter, but I have no cheerleading. What are counts? What's a thigh stand? What's a shoulder stand? So I was like, you guys are nuts. Like, you guys are choosing me out of I have no cheerleading background. I have nothing. I just have weightlifting and lifting. So, but then talked to my coach, Summer Willis, and then we just instantly hit it off. We hit it off, and then I don't know, right when I had the butterflies in my stomach, it just kind of went away right when I talked to her. Then I called my mom that night and I said, Mom, I've been getting offers to be a cheerleader at Weber State. And my mom's like, Kollin, no, you spent 10 years of your life. We've went to multiple trips. We did this and you injured your back, but there's 2020 Olympics you can go to. Why do you want to throw all that away? And I'm like, Mom, I really don't know. I really don't know why I want to do this, but something's telling me to do this. I don't know why. Something's telling me to take the trust and transition. Then I ended up waiting a couple days, and I called Dane and I called Summer and I said, I'm in. They're like, Kollin, is this what you really want to do? And I'm like, Dane, I lost my scholarship at Boise State University. I can't lift the weights I used to lift without pain. It's going to take me years, more than 4 years to lift the weights I used to lift. And it's going to take me forever. And, I basically would have to start from square one, and of which I was willing to do. But this opportunity came up and something just inside me lit like that. Then on Friday, I was an Olympic weightlifter. Then that Monday, I was a Weber State cheerleader, and the rest is history. And I remember my first practice, I went to Weber State. It was photo day, and I came in, and all the Weber State cheerleaders were looking at me saying, who's this guy? Where's he from? Then they're like, this is Kollin Cockrell. He's a former weightlifter. He's going to be on our team. And this was photo day, and I was like, hi, just kind of shy. And then after that, just took the photos, and it made it official. I went to back to Boise that week, packed up all my things, transferred to Weber State. And then by the following week, I was a Weber State cheerleader, and I was going to Weber State University, and the rest is history. And it just instantly just changed like that. And
we are here with Kollin Cockrell. I did not know about any of this previous. This is why I love this, what I'm doing, because I just get to learn so much about these awesome people. Okay, so we're at Weber State. Before we get there, I got to give a shout out to my sponsor real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I do too.
Sponsored by Cheer Chalk. Cheer Chalk is a great product. A lot of great partner centers use it. If your hands get sweaty or wet, Just put a little bit on. Actually, the bottle's right here. You get about 50 uses out of it, and it's also got antibacterial in it, so it also sanitizes your hands while you use it. So if you go to cheerchalk.us and put in the discount code FULLOUT10, get an additional 10% off. And that includes their 5-package deal. So if you want to get 5 of them, you can get 10% off of that. They have a special going on right now. So again, go to cheerchalk.us and put in the discount code FULLOUT10 to get an additional 10% off. So you've done it. You're like, I'm going to Weber State. I've never done this cheer thing, but I'm doing it. And so, like you said, you just had a really good connection with the team, with the coach, and now you're a college cheerleader. And we got about 20 minutes left, so want to make sure that we get to the meat of the story here. Now is like, so obviously you're now learning on the fly. You're learning. Like you said, Weber State's always been a very prestigious program. Had some excellent partner stunters out of that program for many years. So you're learning from some of the best, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, did you just see your skill level did it just take off right away once you got there?
Yeah, so I just remember the first practice I went to, I was catching things to my chest, pushing it back up, and then I just realized, like, I was stunting with girls that knew what they were doing, because the stunt, like, nothing against the girls that I was stunting with in the past, but they didn't have the experience or the knowledge of what to do for flying. So I was stunting with these girls, and I hit like a rewind to the top, a front handspring up to QP, and it was just so much, like, it was so similar to Olympic lifting, like the explosiveness, the movements, just like how you grab the girl and you have to be quick, you can't be slow, and that's like snatch and clean and jerk, and a lot of the replications of Olympic lifting. So yeah, it just, every practice and every open gym and every stunting session I was doing, I was learning something new. And it was like, it's so similar. Like, it's very explosive. It's such an explosive exercise. Because I was doing like toss hands, lip, hands QP. But then when I got to rewinds, back handspring ups, all that jazz, I was like, holy crap, like this is so similar to Olympic lifting. But yeah, just every day, every practice I was doing, I was learning something new, and just kept on going up and up and up. And obviously, I had my downfalls in cheerleading, my ups and downs in cheerleading, but it was by far, I don't know, it was this the tiger hid inside me, or the rhino inside me, finally unleashed, and that was it. That was the sport,
So talk about your first experience at Ncaa College Nationals. How was that?
Oh, it was good. So yeah, Steve, it was very interesting. Like, I just remember, joining the team at Weber State, and then I remember stepping on the band shell in 2016, and I was an elite stunter. I was like one of the people that did the elites.
So you did the elite your first year. You did it right away.
My year.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I was like, I just remember, like, sometimes I'll have flashbacks, but I just remember going to the band shell, stepping on, looking at the crowd. I'm like, what did I get myself into? And then I was like, yeah, people were talking about the band shell, but it's such a different experience when you step on that blue mat. Then I remember the elite we did was a round off rewind, and I just remember, oh my gosh, it was a headache my first year, talking about counts, talking about motions, remembering dance moves, and I was like, and people treated me like a veteran, or they treated me like I've been on the team for years. I'm like, you guys know this is my first year, I'm sure. And they're like, Kollin, how come you can't remember the counts? I would screw up like a full up and like mess up the counts, and I'm like, I don't know what. They're like, what are you doing, Kollin? I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing,
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I was force fed so many things, but it's almost like if you go to a country and you have to speak their language, or else you can't get around. Yeah. It was almost like that in cheerleading terms.
So you've been at Weber State now. How many years have you been at Weber State now?
This is my 6th year.
Okay. Okay. So you've been at Weber. You've obviously been extremely successful at Weber State. Talk about what made you think, you know what? I think I can do this partner stunt thing also. I can do this partner stunt competition because, obviously, that is what you're extremely known for. Is you're one of the, if not the best partner stunner in the world right now, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people would agree with that. And kind of, what was there a moment when you're like, I'm going to win partner stunt. I'm going to do that. Is there a moment that kind of just clicked for you to make that decision?
It was like, so after all the discipline I did for training for the Olympics, all I did was like the fundamentals, the morals, I did, like I had to do for training for the Olympics, I just took all that knowledge and brought it over to cheerleading. And I was taking like, not only that, my recovery, I would train really hard in cheerleading, but I also focused on my recovery too. And there's actually, I'm going to give a shout out to my sponsor.
Yeah.
His name's Travis Owens, the Cheer Doc. I take his supplement, Hit Zero. It's pre-workout and protein. And I've been taking that supplement for quite some time, and it's been helping with my athletic performance. So not only the training, but it's also my recovery. And Hit Zero. So if you guys are interested, Hit Zero is something I've been taking for quite some time. And if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have been able to reach my success, because it's protein and pre-workout for cheerleaders. So not only that, so my nutrition and recovery was on point. My determination and my morals, all the things I learned. And not many people know, Steve. You know Michael Phelps, right?
Of course. One of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest. Yeah. Absolutely.
I went to the training facility he went to. Like I knew what the Olympians were doing, and not many people know, like, what do Olympians do to be in the Olympics? I knew what it took to win competitions. I knew what it took to heal up and train more and more and more. And it's just all about what you're doing outside of cheerleading. So right when that happened, it was, my third year. I think it was my third year. No, in 2019. So it was my fourth year in cheerleading. So I knew, like, there was a moment. I'm like, there's UCA partner stunt and NCAA partner stunt, and I was thinking, I know what to do to win those competitions, but I have to have a flyer.
Yep.
I can do it by myself. I know what the preparation I need to do, but I have to have a flyer that's on board with me. And I got blessed and got Kenzie Graybaugh. Huge shout out to her. She withstood me in the training, like the things we do to get prepared for that routine we did. And that routine was, I'm not gonna lie, it was really hard. It was a lot of concentration, a lot of focus on her part and my part. And she was patient with me, and I was blessed to have her at that time. And then we did UCA. We won that competition. It was like, yeah, the training we did was very good. I'm like, I bet we can up it up. We can up that routine, and I bet we can win NCAA.
I was actually about to say, I watched your 2019 UCA routine. Very good routine. But then I watched your 2019. I remember seeing your 2019 partner summer routine went like viral, because it was freaking sick. It's so sick. Like, I mean, the stunts you're doing throughout it, I mean, it is just a clinic on how to be smooth with power. That's the thing, is like, a lot of guys are power stunners, they just don't make it look smooth. And you make it look so smooth and effortless. That 2019 year obviously was great for you, but that 2019 NCAA part, anybody out there, YouTube it, 2019 NCAA partner stunts of Kollin. Whoa. It was phenomenal, my friend. It was very good. Very, very good.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Steve.
You're welcome. Absolutely. So obviously you've made a name for yourself, but also the huge thing is, like, as I've been saying, like, there's been a lot of international people on this. And I do want to get to, we had a couple of good questions, so I want to get to the Q&A, but obviously you've made a huge name for yourself being a part of the U.S. national team. Obviously, you've been able to travel the world representing the U.S. of A. and have made a huge name for yourself by representing U.S. I saw Krista Sanford was on here earlier. She gave a shout out to you, one of your coaches for U.S. Coed team. So kind of talk about that experience of making the U.S. national team. Now you've done it for, is it 3 years? 3 or 4 years you've done the U.S. national team?
So I did 18, 19, and 20 until the COVID hit.
Yeah. So kind of talk about, representing the red, white, and blue. You obviously not the sport you were thinking you were going to do it, but getting the opportunity to represent your country is something you love to do.
Oh, man, it was cool. I mean, not only representing cheerleading in the United States, for the United States, but, I did it in Olympic lifting. So it's a very cool thought that, I represented USA for 2 different sports, Olympic lifting and cheerleading. And not only that, like, just getting selected to be, like, on that team for USA, it's such a cool experience. It's the hardest things I've ever done in my life, the practices, the full outs and stuff, but it all was worth it, just the pain and just the preparation we had to do to go and perform for our country, Because
what a lot of people don't realize, some people, is like, you guys put that routine together in like 10 days. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
We're doing 2 days, 3 days, and it's like, it was summer. It reminded me of training for the Olympics on some days, and it was like, I'm like, this is so crazy. I can't believe we're going to learn this in 10 days, and then we're going to go perform it on like the 12th day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's such a thrill. It's such an adrenaline rush. And then by the time you're done, you put your body through so much full outs and just like so much training that you are just toasted, but you just feel good. You feel good. You feel like you accomplished something.
Let me just say, I was watching some videos, and the double back handspring onto double QP that you guys did.
Yeah.
I remember when I first, because I've gone to ICU now, I think 5 years in a row, and it's honestly my favorite competition to watch as a spectator is ICU. It's unbelievable, and I used to remember like watching that over and over and over again. I'm like, I don't even know how you prepare to get because I mean, it's not like, I mean, maybe some people had it, but it's not like you're practicing it because you don't have the same guy and girl with you during the off season. You literally have those 10 days to kind of figure that stunt out. I mean, talk about like your mindset going into that. Like, I mean, did that really, really challenge you as an athlete to get ready for that?
Absolutely. Some of the stunts that we were doing, I was like, Coach, you're out of your mind. Like, the thing is, like, yeah, I was like, Leroy is one of the best in the game, like by far, a very knowledgeable coach. Very, like, he just has such a beautiful mind when it comes to cheerleading. And when he said, all right, I remember it was Ryan Clonch. He's 2018 partner stunt champ. So shout out to Ryan. I stood right next to him, and he stood right next to me. And I just remember Leroy saying, all right, you guys do a back handspring up, but pitch the back handspring up to Kollin on his right hand. Kollin, you catch the flyer with your left hand. And I was thinking, like, how? Like, how? How? Yeah. So but oh my gosh, Steve, it was doing that stunt. We went through hell and back on that.
Is that one of the hardest stunts you've ever had to learn?
I would say, well, obviously it was nice to have Ryan there, and then Spencer Clan was right behind me, like assisting just in case it went bad. But I wouldn't say it was the hardest stunt, but it was definitely one of the most, gut busting. Because if it went wrong, it went wrong. It messed you up. Because there's been times that both girls fall on me. That didn't feel good. And then like if they go separated, that's a lot of shoulder strain on my shoulders. So if there's no way, like you could still save it, but it was gut busting. If you have to hit it precise for it to be smooth. But if you catch it wrong, it's gonna take all your strength away.
I was going to say the one thing that I noticed, when I was watching, I was like, the timing has to be just right. I mean, if any timing's off, you're done. Like it's not going to go. I mean, it was just crazy. Like, I mean, so obviously now through cheerleading, you've been able to travel the world. You've been able to make a name for yourself. You have a huge social media following of people. Literally, like so many people are like, you're my idol. I mean, like you're the GOAT. I mean, I think that's always a great debate. Who's the greatest partner stunner of all time? Because you got to think about the old school people too, and like just throughout. And I've been able to talk to some of the great partner stunners throughout our lifetime here. But I mean, you briefly mentioned it, but like you were talking about your family, and but you just have this mindset, right? You just have like, where did that mindset come from? Was that just the way you were raised, or like that competitive aspect, or that just that you keep saying the word discipline, which I love, the discipline you have to be the best you can be?
Yeah. So I'm glad you said that, Steve. So my family, they've always supported me to be the best at anything I do. And like, I guess I would say it's a combination of my mom and dad. They've always said, if you're going to do something, take full advantage of it. Like, cause it's going to end just like that. You never know when you're going to be finished with it, or it can just be taken away. So that's what I did with like Olympic lifting. And, I love my family so much. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be the person I am today and the athlete I am today. And they just been with me through this whole entire crazy journey of Olympic lifting, watching competitions to cheerleading, watching my showcases and send-offs and competitions as well. So, but they always ingrained into my brain, like you want to take anything you do, just take it to the next level, because it's always going to create more opportunity. So I did that with as much as I could with Olympic lifting, and I did that as much as I can with cheerleading. And it's still kind of, I still feel like I have a little beans left into my cheerleading career, because this is my last year. So I have a little bit more beans left. So, I'm going to do everything I can to, finish out strong.
So you do have one more year left at Weber? You have one more year to do? Okay, awesome. Okay, so we're not done with you yet. We get one more. We get a little bit more. Awesome. Cannot wait. I mean, we have a couple questions. You ready for them?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, here we go. Just a quick shout out first. Not a question, but I just wanted to let you know you are a huge, big inspiration to me and my partner stunning. So, man, did you ever think by joining cheerleading that you would have such a huge impact on people, literally globally, just by being you and by just having a huge influence in partner stunning?
Steve, I honestly didn't plan on any of this happening. It was unintentional. All the things I did, I posted videos, and I would see like more people start liking my videos, following me, and I was like, and the thing is, I was just posting videos of just my training, and no, I had no clue, but I feel very blessed. It's really cool that these people like watch what I do, and they don't have to do that, but it really means a lot to me. So when they say this to me, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, no, thank you. I should be thanking you, that you're taking the time to watch me.
And from the same person, from Ncaa Cheer, just real quick, tips for tossing hands. Like, what are some of the big tips that you can give about good explosive toss, like good tosses, especially for maybe the beginners, because you were there one time, you were that beginner, kind of like beginners, in terms of like a couple tips for a good toss.
So I would say, obviously, you have to have timing with your flyer, because that's going to be a huge factor. Make sure the flyer doesn't drop her chest or lean too far back. But also, when you toss, make sure you're fast off the bottom and use your legs, because you don't want to rip your flyer off the bottom. You want to make sure it's nice and smooth together. And then when you go stand up, make sure she's fast off the bottom and you're fast to the bottom. And you always got to think like try to toss to the very top and then catch at the bottom. And so it's all about the timing, the speed off the bottom too, and just make sure that your flow is very good with your flyer, because I've seen some strong dudes that can't really do a proper toss hands because the timing is way whacked. There's nothing wrong with their strength or speed. They just got to make sure their timing is together. So I would say the three things: timing, speed, and I would say precision together.
Spoken like a technical stunter. Love it. Thank you very much. As a coach, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're international flavor here. Do you speak Spanish? I'm from Ecuador. Or do you speak any other languages?
So I know a little bit of Spanish because my girlfriend is from Colombia. Her name is Paula.
Okay.
And we've been dating for about a year, and she's been teaching me some Spanish. So, yeah, I speak – my Spanish is no bueno. No bueno. I can speak just a little bit, just enough. I can do the greetings, like saying goodbye. I know, obviously, the food, taco, all that stuff,
Yeah.
But – yeah, my Spanish is not good, but I'm trying. I'm learning. My girlfriend's been helping me out a lot with that,
Is she involved with cheerleading at all?
Oh, yeah. She
Okay.
is a cheerleader. Yeah,
Okay.
She cheers at an all-star gym.
Okay.
And she's done partner stunting competitions. So,
Okay.
yeah, phenomenal
Awesome.
cheerleader.
Very cool. A good question here. Did all the hype and lead up to the nationals all click and make sense the moment you competed on, and it cuts off, but it says on the band shelf. So like kind of going back to people talk about the band shell and what it means. Did the hype live up to that every time you take the floor over there?
Yeah, I would say absolutely. So the thing is, Steve, like when you go on the band shell with your team, you don't feel alone. You have your teammates, you have your family around you, but you still get that like butterflies in your stomach. It's like almost like going up on the roller coaster. Like you're about to go down, like if you're on a roller coaster. But I would have to say, yeah, it is a humongous hype. But if you want more of an adrenaline rush, do a partner stunt competition there. Because I remember walking out there, you're alone, and you're like, now all eyes are on you and your partner and your spotter. So that one, if you want more of a hype, do a partner stunt competition, and it feels like skydiving. That's how I can explain it.
So we got about 5 minutes left here, Kollin. Instagram Live kicks you off at 1 hour. So we've gotten through a lot of it. But something that I found very interesting that I knew you did, but I kind of forgot about, was the Utah Jazz. That you are on the Utah Jazz stunt team, which I think is so cool that the Utah Jazz has a stunt team, a Coed stunt team. I saw one video where you guys did this routine in mid-court, and like it was sick, and you guys nailed it, and it was crazy. Like, talk about how'd you get into the Utah Jazz stunt team?
Yeah, so it's very cool, Going to Utah, you have a lot of opportunities with cheerleading, and not only that, Utah Jazz stunt team is one of them. And my coach, Summer Willis, is not only the coach at Weber State, but she's also the stunt team coach for the Utah Jazz.
Okay, cool. I didn't know that. Awesome.
Yeah, so it worked out. Like she said, like if you want, you can do more. If you want to get more exposure in front of like people
Mm-hmm.
do the Utah Jazz stunt team. You got to throw stunts in front of people because a lot of people can smack stunts when they're training, but when you have so many eyes on you, it's a different ball game. I remember, that picture you brought up,
Mm-hmm.
that one had like 15,000 people, and I just remember Elsa and I doing that performance, and they didn't know what was going on. They just saw me throwing a girl, but
Yeah.
still, I was like looking around, I'm like, this is the most I've ever showed off in a performance. So it was really cool.
No, the video's out. It was a super cool video,
Yeah.
and I didn't know. I mean, is most of the Utah Jazz stunt team, is it Weber State people, or is it a good
Yeah.
mixture of people?
So I would say a good majority are Weber State people.
But like you said, it's a
there's, like,
great. You're getting in front of a crowd. You're getting some good stuff in front of people, which is awesome.
Yeah, and you're not only that, you're getting paid too. It's an occupation.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's also you're just doing the things that you love and getting paid for it. So it's almost like a win-win.
So, got a couple minutes here left. I just want to talk to you real quick. I mean, you did say you have one more year of school, which is awesome. But obviously, as people know, Ncaa College Nationals was canceled this year for COVID and everything, which obviously is, heartbreaking, but was the right decision to make for the safety of our country and safety of the athletes. So, I mean, kind of talk about, next year. I mean, I'm sure you're already looking forward to it. Kind of what are your goals next year and your last year as a collegiate cheerleader?
Yeah. So yeah, Steve, I would say I'm just gonna go take all the opportunities I can get. UCA partner stunt, NCAA partner stunt, Team USA. So I'm gonna do all that again. Try to do the best of my ability, and just kind of go from there. And just I don't care if I win. It'd be awesome to win, but I'm just gonna do everything I can to finish my career strong. I just want to end happy. If it's second place, third place, I just want to know I did everything I could to make my last year the best it could be. And yeah, that's how I want to end. It's not, and the thing is, winning's not about the trophy. Sometimes it's not about like doing this stunt or that stunt. It's about the process you do to be to help you grow as a person. So that's what the opportunities I'm going to do. So kind of relive 2019, but take it to the next, to a different level. The training, the nutrition, just being smart with the training, and just trying to help out, be the best teammate and the best athlete for my coach in Weber State.
I cannot wait to see you and Keyshawn go at it again, though. Oh man, Keyshawn's routine was good last year. It was very, very good. It was. There's just so many good partner stunners out there, but honestly, bud, I think you are one of the best, if not the best, right now, and you're phenomenal and such a humble guy. And this was so much fun. And thank you again for joining me today and taking the time to talk with me about your story. And I'm sure our paths will cross again, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely, Steve. Thank you so much for having me. And yeah, we'll stay in touch, and good luck with everything to you.
Thanks, bud. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, Steve. We'll see you.
See you, Kollin. Kollin Cockrell, man, that is a humble dude. What a great kid. I call him a kid, but I mean, he's a man. That is a grown man. He is such a good guy. Thank you again, Kollin, for taking the time to talk with me today and share your story. Just again, real quick, a quick shout out to my sponsor, Cheer Chalk. Go to cheerchalk.us, put in the discount code FULLOUT10. You can buy a single bottle, you can buy a 3-pack, I believe, and a 5-pack. So you can do packages also, save even more cash. But again, put in the discount code FULLOUT10 to get an additional 10% off your Cheer Chalk purchases. States are opening up. People are starting to stunt again. Hopefully we can have some practices again soon. So it's a good time to go to cheerchalk.us, save an additional 10% with FULLOUT10 as your discount code. And next week, Wednesday, we're slowing things down in the summer, just going to do 1 or 2 a week. Next week, Wednesday, though, we're going to keep the USA thing going, but we're going all girl. Next Wednesday on our Coach's Corner episode on YouTube, I'm bringing in some people who are going to give you the lowdown, the background of being on the U.S. all-girl national team. Head coach Tony Nash, Jocelyn, Caitlin, Katie, Kirby, and Ryan. Phenomenal athletes who have represented the red, white, and blue just like Kollin did. But we're going to talk about the U.S. national all-girl team, the tryout process. So I'm sure some great stories. I'm quite sure the ladies are going to gang up on Tony, which is fine. It's going to be an awesome show, so do not miss that. That's on Wednesday, 8 p.m. on our YouTube channel. Again, YouTube, Full Out Chats. Follow us there, subscribe us. That'd be great to have the support. And again, you can see Kollin's interview here. It'll be on our Instagram TV. It'll also be on YouTube. and also as a podcast. So you can have options if you missed it out or if you just want to hear Kollin talk again. Again, a special thank you to Kollin Cockrell, Weber State, U.S. Coed national team member, UCA, NCAA partner stunt national champion, bud. Thank you again so much. And again, Wednesday, Coach's Corner, U.S. all-girl national team theme. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Have a great day. Stay healthy. Stay safe.